Picked up some new Termignoni pipes for my 2017 M21, and I figured I'd throw the unboxing in at the beginning of it and just do the whole changeover in the system from start to finish. So it's the first time the box has been opened. Let's see what's inside. I was going to use the video audio, which the GoPro recorded, but it was cold in the garage and I had so many sniffling noises over top that it was becoming quite annoying. But so interesting packaging from Italy and everything in there. That looks like the new mapping key. I didn't open that one yet, and I have to take the bike in to get that one fixed up. So the instruction manual with some detailed parts and such listings. Pretty thorough, has the torque settings, everything in there for the screws. New Y pipe, nice looking piece. It's definitely some quality components. All of the screws, springs, clips, and the new guard for the heel. And then the beautiful pieces of pipe themselves, the cans. So they come pre-assembled with the bracket on there and the two pipes set up as a dual. Very nice looking pieces of hardware. And what I wanted to do next is I wanted to just have the sounds of the bike prior to changing out the pipes or the cans. So that's what this part's about here. Time to get at it and change them out. It's a pretty straightforward system. There's the clamp for the pipe at the bottom. It's a 13mm socket, I believe. And the other one is just a 6mm, I think, Allen hex key. And takes a little bit, it's fairly tight in there, so you can't really fit a ratchet with the hex head adapter on there, the Allen key driver. So just back and forth a bit with the Allen key to get it off. It's really not much holding those pipes on, just the clamp at the header assembly and the one screw. Something I wish I had done prior to doing this was weighing the two pieces before and after, but I think a few people have done that in the past, so not really much to say about that. They're definitely a lot lighter. It's loose enough now I can just take it off by hand. that washer falls out, and I don't put it back in later, but I cut away from the video and put it back in, so it was definitely put back on there. Just slides right out, not much to it. So the new Y-pipe is quite nicely done. It slides in with nice perfect fit from the two pipes. Center to center distance is really good on them, so they slide in pretty nice and snug. Just seeing if I can get them to seat down at the bottom a bit. I think there's a little bit of motion in them still, so I end up taking out a soft dead blow hammer and just knocking that one on a little bit. Couple of quick little taps with the lightest, softest part of the hammer. It's a green urethane head on those. Time to dig into the little bits. There's actually quite a bit more space for my heel now, which is nice, because the pre-2018, I think it is, Monsters, the size of your foot is a little bit tight on the right-hand side due to the size of the pipe and the guard that's on there. So it actually gives you a little bit more space there now. Three little fender-type clips that just go on the brackets that are extended off the pipe. And then 3 screws. They have a some sort of fiber washer on either side of it. A little bit boring and tedious, this part, just getting the screws in, making sure the fiber washers aren't stuck underneath the shoulders. They're supposed to isolate it a little bit, and if you get them stuck under the shoulder and then tighten the screw, you're probably going to break the washer apart. It's just a fiber material, stands up to the heat. Everything fit very nicely together on this thing. It was a real pleasure to install. Again, I'm just making sure that the fiber washers don't get stuck under a shoulder and then get broken apart. And eventually you need reading glasses, so those come out. It was kind of cold in there today. It was about 13 Celsius, I believe. Cold enough just to make your nose run a little bit. I think about the only special tool you really need for this is the torque wrench to make sure you get the exhaust clamp back on per spec. Everything else is just Allen keys. Next is the springs. I did happen to have a tool hook with a T-handle type of tool in my toolbox, so I can't remember what that was for, but it worked perfectly for putting the springs on. It's the one thing you're probably going to want to have to put them on, because they're fairly strong spring, and that's definitely a handy tool to have for that. Done. Not much to it. So I figured they were providing all hardware for this, but ends up you have to use the old collar spacer from the old pipe where it mounts to the muffler mount. Just check and verify, make sure that that is what was needed. So, yep, it's on the old pipe. The old collar just drops in through the new rubber isolators. Slips right in and fits beautifully up to the rear peg mount. And I noticed the washer sitting on the floor. I didn't put that one in right away, so I cut the video after this, and I take the screw back out and put it back in, so the washer was definitely put back in. And sort of tedious back and forth with an Allen key to put the screw in, because it's fairly tight and can't get a ratchet in there. Even the ball end on the Allen key doesn't fit very well because it hits the lower shock mount. Would have liked to have been able to get a torque wrench on that though, because it goes into an aluminum component and it's pretty easy to strip those out. Set my torque wrench to 18 Newton meters. this point, the whole installation is pretty much done. It's just a matter of tightening up this clamp. And that's pretty much it. Just verifying tightening on that one screw. Like I mentioned before, ended up having to take it right back off again because of the washer sitting very easily inside your view, but not mine. And just double checking the heel guard. It looked pretty good. And cut away from this because I put the screw in. And then let's listen to this thing once I fired it back up again, and go back to some sound in the garage. Look at that. That was a really easy installation. Okay, first time starting it.